Boys and girls, we are back after the Christmas and New Year break. Happy New Year. Look, we've got the Happy New Year thing on. And it's very simple, the job for this season. Very, very simple. We're just going to win everything. We're going to win the Premier League. We're going to win the Champions League. And we're going to have a lovely old time doing it. That starts here. This is the final season of the save. Unless we don't win the Champions. This is the final season of the save, damn it. Right, if you missed the last stream, or like me, don't remember it, we did end it very abruptly because I was seconds away from pooing myself at the end of the last stream, which is why it ended as abruptly as it did. So, moments away. So we did end very abruptly after this Real Madrid game in the Champions League, which we only managed to draw. If I'd have been fully concentrating, but obviously we would have beaten them because that's what we do. But the second half of that match, I was basically clinging on for dear life. All I could focus on was keeping my butthole closed. So, yeah, we didn't focus too. I don't know. I probably didn't even make any substitutions for fear of moving my arm and setting off a chain reaction. So, yeah, it's a draw away against Real Madrid. It'll do. But we have got Arsenal up next in the league. We have started the season very well in the league. So the plan now is to just keep on winning. If Arsenal win tomorrow, or whenever it is, if Arsenal beat Newcastle, win in the league. Decision made. Madrid, are we wanting him back? Well, luckily, several lucky things. Apparently, they've got no buyback clause. That's a lovely goal from Silas. They're probably one of the few clubs in world football who don't really need him. Because Madrid are all right for central midfielders, especially if they bring in Bellingham. But even without Bellingham, Madrid, probably of all clubs, are probably all right and don't need him. And I don't think he wants to go. I think he's happy at Arsenal. And, you know, maybe one day they'll want to play together at club level, which obviously would mean Haaland going to Arsenal and not Odegaard replacing De Bruyne at Man City eventually. Oh, Silas, what a player. MJ Roper, thank you very much for 18 months. But, yeah. Nunes has been booked as well, has he? Good. Well, let's see him get sent off, and then that fully justifies my decision to bin him off back here. Or are they just lining up really strangely for this goal kick? Ugh. Hold on, that guy, what is that guy's name? I glanced at it quickly, Mr. Suddick. I double take. I had a quick look. I was like, hang on, what? Whoa, no, okay, it is Suddick. Okay. Out of the corner of my eye when it was small, though. Goodness me. Goodness me. Disabato has won FIFA Best Under 21 Men's Player. Previously won by Ventosa, and before him, Endrick. And Gavi won it a couple of times as well. If we get Dennis Simon, that'd be the last 6 winners would all be current Peterborough players. That'd be quite an impressive statistic to have. We are the youth factory. As a Python, I switched to journalism. Python's probably the easiest language to learn. Python's very forgiving as a coding language. The biggest frustration of C# when I was at uni was spending hours upon hours looking for somewhere in here. There's a missing semicolon or an additional semicolon or a bracket in slightly the wrong place, and it's ruining everything, and I can't find it. And Python's much more forgiving than that. But you liked him. Liked who? What? Grant McCann? Nah, I didn't even really like him as a player. I always thought he was a bit of a liability, and Posh fans looked past that because he could hit a good free kick. Oh, Darren McAntony. Oh, I do like Darren McAntony. I think he's great. I like Fergie at Bristol City, then I take Dave from the pub. Is McCann worse than Steve Evans? No, obviously not. I'll be taking part in any streamer showdowns this year. Probably. If I'm invited, I should think so. I mean, I usually win them, don't I? There's no logical reason why I would say no. Unless they clashed with events or I upset Ben enough to not be invited, but I doubt either of them will happen. 18th of November, the Streamer Showdown Twitter account last tweet was, "Good morning. We thought it best we update you while we still can. After an extended break, the FM Streamer Showdown is set to return on Twitch in January, as long as Twitch is still with us." Well, there you go then. I guess there's one this month. As far as I know, no date has been set. If a date has been set, I am not in it. Because I don't know anything about it. But I don't think anything has been sorted yet. It's my daughter's 21st birthday towards the end of this month. So that could potentially rule me out. Is it just me and Jack who are full-time FM YouTubers? I mean, I guess it depends on how you define full-time FM YouTubers. There's a whole lot of us who are full-time FM content creators. But I suggest me and Jack probably earn more on YouTube. And I imagine Zealand and Ben probably earn more on Twitch, would be my guess. So they might consider themselves full-time Twitch streamers. Omega Luke's a full-time YouTuber, isn't he? There's lots of us who don't have other jobs. So there's the four of us. There's Luke. There's Tom. There's Loki. There's probably others that I'm forgetting. That's at least 7 are full-time content creators. That's a lovely goal from Disabato. Second yellow card. Yeah. Clates is a teacher, isn't he? So he's not full-time. Unless he's given up and didn't tell me. In which case, I'm really upset that he turned down the chance to become Kev's thumbnail guy. RDF is RDF. I don't know if RDF is full-time, actually. He might be. I don't know. What about that crew fella? Was he? Again, I don't know if he has a day job. I've never actually had a conversation with him. So I imagine his Twitch money is well more than enough for him to live off and just pay everyone with his YouTube money. That would be my guess. Like I say, no idea. Total speculation. So let's not all run and tell Zealand that I've outed how his business works, because I genuinely have no idea. I know that's similar to how me and Chris have got things structured. I know it's a smaller operation. But I keep the Twitch money and Chris gets the majority of the YouTube money. I'm new to you /FM. What's the difference between what I post on my account versus LOLLUJO 2? LOLLUJO 2 is stream highlights and is all managed by editor Chris. So it's just what we do here on Twitch and he turns that into videos. Whereas the main channel is native YouTube content. So content that I've recorded and edited specifically for YouTube, rather than it being repurposed content from the stream. It does. They are very different styles of video as well because of it. Because, I mean, if you've been here for an hour or so this evening, for example, you'd have seen the way the conversation has gone and how it hasn't often circled round to FM. Chris has to turn that into 20-minute videos somehow. I don't know how he does it. I'll level with you. I don't watch them very often because I'm scared about what they might be, but people seem to enjoy them. Right, come on. Let's do a football. Big E playing it into Hendrick. It was Big E to Little E. Oh! I don't smoke, Kev. I vape. I can do that inside. I can't keep up. You and your vices are forever changing. Big E, Little E. It's like Big Cook, Little Cook. They should do a TV show. Oh, it's back, is it? It's animated on YouTube now. God, I hate the world. Big Cook, Little Cook was perfect as it was. It didn't need animating. It certainly didn't need to be on the hellhole that is YouTube. You imagine the comment section on that. Ugh. Big Cook, Little Cook is on CBeebies, but the hosts are female now. What, same people having transitioned or new hosts? I need you to be clearer. Right, there you go. We have beaten Everton. Beautiful. Who are we playing now? Wolves. Got an international break. Hendrick wants to go to Chelsea, apparently. What a silly boy. I've been to where they filmed Balamori. Wow. Are the houses really all different colours there? They are that colour. That's amazing. I want to go there. Where is it? I assume it's somewhere in Scotland, so I'll never go there because it's too far north. The further away I get from the centre of the country, the more untethered from reality I become. So travelling all the way to Scotland would be problematic for me. Why have we not got anybody in the top 50 players in the world? I feel like we probably should by this point. Why is Endrick not on this list? Or Gavi? Who are these bunch of imposters? Did I ask for save? I mean, I must have said it. I don't remember asking for save ideas. I'm all right. I've got plans. Thanks, folks. But I know what I'm doing next. South American save. No, you're right. It certainly won't start in England, the next one. There you go, I'll give you that much. I have talked about it extensively before as well. Kev's going to finish the Pentagon before Jack. I mean, I could. I ain't going to because it's really boring. No, that channel doesn't seem worth spending money on. Because no one's going to watch it anyway. That channel is purely for me to put stuff on that I feel like making. When I get the urge to do something not at my desk. Is Daryl expensive? Try and commission him. He's open for commissions. Puggo Designs on Twitter. DM him. I need to learn about social media management. Because I don't necessarily want some Herbert to have access to my Twitter. At the same time, there's not much point if they don't have access to my Twitter. So, I'm not sure how it's going to work. What's the salary like? No idea. Like I say, not currently hiring. Will be at some point this year, but it'll probably be someone who not just replies to the comments. I'd quite like to be able to just dump my finished videos into a Dropbox folder and then have everything done from there. So Daryl will do the thumbnail and then someone else will do the listing it on YouTube, all the SEO, the description, and then do all the managing the comments and stuff and the promoting it on various different places and the tweeting about it and all that kind of stuff. So just literally, I just have to make them, dump them into a folder and forget about them. Is it a tax thing? I mean, no, she's a performer. It's a talent contract. She's in a lower tax band than me, but that's not relevant to me giving her some of my money every month. I don't see how that's relevant. Matthew, thank you very much for 8 months. We're losing to Monaco here. What's going on? It got to the point where we could afford to cover her wages as part of the business. And it was a pain in the butt having to drive her into work every day, then me having to do all the childcare stuff at home. So she officially left work to care for Andy. But yeah, it just became financially sensible for me to pay her rather than her to go out and get paid by someone else. HMRC has entered the chat. Look, it was a HMRC training session that gave me the idea. So yeah, I don't think HMRC are going to have an issue with it. Upster, thank you very much for the gifted sub to HMRC. Love it. As a current HMRC investigator, we generally don't care much about that sort of stuff. Wouldn't hit the threshold to get investigated. Exactly. I'm alarmed that we've got a former and current HMRC investigator in here, though. Hi, guys. Do we need gifted subs or sandwiches or anything? How are we doing? John, thank you very much for 26 months. I think there's a strong argument that we're only paying for those trips for the content that we get off the back of them. So, yeah, I think I could probably pay less tax if I really pushed it. I'm not worried about good old HMRC. My rule for that, and again, this is very much my rule. I think the HMRC rule would be if I'm traveling for a convention that is connected to my job in any way, then that travel is deductible. For me, if I'm at the convention in any kind of official capacity, so if I'm there as a guest, if I'm there as a speaker, if I've been invited in any way, then absolutely that I deduct the cost of the travel and the hotel. If I'm there as a paid punter, then I don't. Need to get you on a panel at TwitchCon this year. I am hoping we will do one. Yeah, definitely. It's something I will be speaking to Twitch about. Twitch, if you're watching, as soon as you actually announce dates for TwitchCon in Paris, we need to have a conversation. We need Zealand to talk to his Twitch contact. I got him into EGX. He needs to get us into TwitchCon. I think if Zealand asks, I don't think it's unreasonable. Zealand's got the Twitch hookup, hasn't he? Has anyone else noticed the FA Cup final in FM is played in the middle of June? I hadn't noticed that, no. FM or neurodiversity. I think at TwitchCon it makes sense to do the FM one that we did at EGX. But if they want the neurodiversity one, I'm sure that can be arranged. It might be a little bit trickier to do unless they're covering expenses. Because no one else who does that neurodiversity panel with me would be at TwitchCon ordinarily. Whereas they are at other conventions. But the plan is that's going to be our holiday this year, I should think. We'll combine TwitchCon with a Disneyland holiday. And just do it all in one go. That'll be fun for the travel expenses, won't it? Either go to Disney on the way or on the way back and do it all as like a 10-day European adventure. Yeah, I'm not going on Eurostar again. They owe me $1,000 still. Pick up Ben and Jack on the way. They're always welcome on my road trips. They know they are. We got to hang out with Sega for a bit, which was useful in terms of relationship building stuff. I unfortunately did have to spend some time with Work the Space, but you can't have everything. It was fun. Do I play Football Manager and personal saves outside of work? Not anymore, no. I used to, not anymore. I have absolutely no idea if that's a compliment or not. What, that Ben smells of Soleros? I mean, only the most recent time I was with Ben, he was just drinking mango-flavoured things all weekend when we were down in London earlier in, or I guess late last year now, not earlier in the year. He was drinking like mango-flavoured cider when we were out. And because we're cool, Dupe took us Jordans shopping in JD Sports on the Saturday morning. This is why we've all got our lovely Jordans now. Because Dupe's convinced everyone we have to be that cool. But on the way back, he got a mango smoothie thing as well. He was just drinking mangoes all weekend. The man loves a mango. Got close with teaching. I mean, I don't think I would have actually have been sacked. It would have been more a case of, it would have been a Mandy Rose style sacking. They would have said, well, if you don't stop doing it, I didn't have an OnlyFans. This was because I was making content. They didn't like, specifically, I was banned from Twitch when I was still a teacher. If you don't know the story, back towards the end of my teaching, the school found out what I was doing as my side hustle and didn't like it at all. So they made me side a thing saying where I agreed I wouldn't do any Twitch streams. They didn't. They hadn't found a YouTube channel though. So I had to agree not to Twitch stream, which I reluctantly agreed to. I think if they'd have made me agree not to do YouTube as well, I would have resigned there and then. I don't think I actually would have been sacked, but I think it would have been a Mandy Rose situation. Sub to your OnlyFans, I'd pay for it. Be careful what you wish for, boys and girls, before you know it. Do they take a bigger or smaller cut than Patreon? I feel like it would get more back in than my Patreon just because it's a funny thing to be able to say I've got. If it takes a similar cut to Patreon, I might move over to OnlyFans. Can you imagine? Oh, that's a lovely goal. We're 6-0 up here. Did YouTube tell me to push my Discord more too? No, I just figured that was a sensible thing to do with Twitter potentially going down the toilet. First time stream for me here. Love your content. Cheers from Egypt. Well, welcome along. Do I not touch training at all? I don't really. No, there's no reason to. Very occasionally, I'll have a little fiddle. But I haven't touched it for many seasons. I don't know who we could have been managing to go to Preston for Clip and Climb. I can't remember the origins of it. We're going to lose against this lot as well, aren't we? What's going on here? I'm now of an age where I'd actually quite like Friends Reunited to exist. When I was on Friends Reunited, I'd left school for 3 years before. It wasn't quite the same. But now, 23 years after I left school, I'd quite like to see what some of the people I went to school with were up to. I think it'd be quite interesting. Of course, no such thing exists anymore. How old is Salah? 9 years older than he is in real life. But no, occasionally I do remember people I went to school with and think, I wonder what they're up to now. And because I don't use Facebook or anything, there'll be the odd person I went to school with who I'd still be able to find on there if I used it, but I don't. And even then, the really obscure ones, like the ones who were on Facebook, I've probably seen 10 years ago what they were up to. But occasionally I'll think back to my time at school and think of a person and be like, I genuinely have not heard a single thing about them since the day we left school. I have no idea if they went to uni, where they went to uni, whether they got married, what job I have no idea what happened next. The girls were now on Facebook. Yeah, but I don't want to see all their beige living rooms. It's not worth going on Facebook. I don't want to know that badly what Martin is doing now. To have to put up with a sea of beige living rooms and people trying to get me to sell Avon. Half the people in my year are jobless and on drugs. The other half are parents with middling jobs. There must be one or two who've actually done something interesting, though. No, but I've got to believe out of a cohort of like, I think it was 220 people in my year at school. It was a big year. There's got to be someone who's done something interesting. I can't be the most interesting. Went to school with Lewis Cook, who plays for Bournemouth. Nice. See, this is interesting. No one from my year amounts to much, just normal people with normal jobs and normal families. Boring. And that's called stalking. It's not. I'm just interested. And everyone would be interested. That's what we used Friends Reunited for. The people who registered for that, that's how I found out where half of them went to uni. And how some of them coupled off. Even though they weren't couples at school, they somehow became couples with people from school after that. That was the weirdest one. There was like 3 examples of that in my year. People who were never a couple when they were at school, but then somehow ended up married to each other. How does that happen? You go all the way through school and show no interest in each other, and then somehow life loops you back around again and you end up marrying this person you knew as a kid. That's weird. That's what Facebook is. Yeah, but I'm not going on Facebook. It's a cesspool. I want that functionality of Facebook without all the horrible stuff. I want people to not be allowed to talk about what's happening currently. It's a Facebook where all people are allowed to do is group off into the people they used to go to school with or used to work with. They all get grouped together and all they're able to do is give bullet points of how their life turned out after I last saw them. I don't want to know what they did yesterday or what they're doing tomorrow. I want a very brief bullet point of since I last saw them, has anything interesting happened? Only interesting things. I did that month off social media. I just never felt the need to log back into Facebook. Because it's horrible. Jedlicker! This is why I need a social media manager. Oh, exactly. I basically had this conversation with the guy from YouTube. And that's how it led to, yes, you need a social media manager. Yeah, because there absolutely needs to be somebody managing those groups. Just tell them they need to accept their roles as assistant managers from now on. Yeah, why not? Do I have an assistant manager you can send to the meetings? I mean, that's what the social media manager will be doing. Is the talent streaming till 10:30 tonight? Probably not. I want to carry on playing Nier Automata. I still don't know how to say it, but I'm really enjoying it. So I want to go and sit in bed, assume the position. And I got me a new cushion to help me assume the position, by the way. This is the big reveal. This is my new pillow that Anna got me for Christmas for when I assume the position. I've been deliberately not opening it. We're going to open it now. I feel like we need to full screen this. We're just getting into it. Ah! That's a huge knife. I mean, it's not that huge. It's my letter opener. I get a lot of parcels. Nerve-wracking that Kev could whip out a crocodile Dundee's knife. Yeah. I'll level with you. I thought it was going to explode into some giant size. That's quite disappointing if that's all it is. Hold on, we're going in again. She said this was for when I assume the position. I thought this was going to be like a pop-up tent. I think if you get it out, it'll expand. I had something similar. I thought it was going to be like a big wedge. Inflation time-lapse camera. I mean, what we could do, I guess, if we switch to this camera and I just hold it above my head like that. Look, it is getting bigger. Is it bigger yet? It does seem to be swelling somewhat. Oh, this is content. How do I do this? I need to hold down the... Hold on. I need to hold down the shift button. Put it on my head for a moment. Just so I need both hands for this bit. There you go. We're back. We're back. Is it any bigger? Great present if you can take off the outlay and it's just a massive pork scratching. That would be amazing. All right, probably not great for my gallstone, which, by the way, does seem to have survived pizza. Where does the wedge go? Well, I assume thin end under my butthole and fat end under my ankles to keep me nicely in the position. It's going to be glorious. Just basically it's going to angle me upwards. Imagine me in the position. This is going to angle me upwards. I assume that's how it's supposed to be. Or maybe I'm supposed to be the other way around, leaning on it behind me with my head up high. But in my head, in my mind, it's absolutely angling me upwards in the position. Oh, it's going to be glorious. Right, come on, let's do a football. Here we go, look. Football incoming. Football incoming. Oh, that's a football. Come on, then. Oh, yeah, I'll have to obviously have my mask on as well. Something I was supposed to get like 2 years ago when I first had my atrial fibrillation. The doctor told me I had to spend some time every day with my legs above my heart. So I guess it will help with that. Anna has discovered TENS machines. I got her a TENS machine. I mean, I don't know if this is the sign of a good Christmas present or not. I got Anna a TENS machine for Christmas, and she liked it so much that she went out and bought a better one the next day. So I really like the concept of this present. I'm now going to improve it immediately with a better one. Anna needs to get the TENS machine on me for one of the Man Tries Pregnancy Sim videos. I already have enough pain from my kidney stones and my gallstones. The lovely nurse who spoke to me when I had my kidney stone years ago took me to one side and whispered and said, don't let I was married at the time. No, I wasn't. She must have just said wife because anyway, don't let your wife know, even though I wasn't married. Don't let your wife know, but this is actually more painful than having a baby. I've had both and can confirm that kidney stones hurt more than childbirth. So she had done both. The only woman in the world who's done both and confirmed. So yeah, my kidney stones, when I have them, they're worse than giving birth. And I've had loads more kidney stones than she's had kids. So I don't need to be simulating any of that nonsense. Is it the same nurse that handled my testicles? No, that was an ultrasound technician. That wasn't a nurse. I did once have a nurse pull a really long tube out of my penis. It was on a little string. Is that during the exploding penis saga? It was at the end of the saga. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone's ever wondered how they remove a kidney stent, no surgery needed. Apparently they leave a string on it. They put the little stent in your kidney to let the stone pass through. And then there's this long string that goes all the way down. And then when it's time to remove it, just put a little bit of numbing lotion right on the tip of your, let's say finger, right on the tip of your finger. They just put a little bit of numbing lotion so they can fit the tweezers in there. They kind of have to squeeze it open, get some tweezers in. They don't have to go very far, just tweeze in a little bit. Just get the bit of string out. And then they just pull up. And the sensation, because remember, the only part of you that's had any kind of anesthetic, you've had the tip of your, let's say finger, you've had the tip of your finger numbed, but you do then have the sensation of something being pulled out of you from about here, from just below the rib cage. You feel it leave your body. It's like a really strange sneeze. Just so yeah, this is why you should drink water, kids. 2 litres a day, and you are less likely to get kidney stones then. That was a brand deal for water, who are kindly sponsoring this stream.